What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Kicking It with Crowder, episode 18 this season. Going ahead and play some music real quick, let some people join, and we'll go ahead and get started on the conversation. Let's go. Playing this for the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're at home, so now they can just practice their TikToks and everything right now. Let's go. Corvette. How y'all doing tonight, guys? So, congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide on the 2020 National Championship. Beat Ohio State thoroughly on Monday night, so congratulations to Alabama. I'll also give you my top 10 way too early 2021 rankings with some teams maybe you're not, maybe you don't know about. Some teams that have some sleepers for next year. So, congratulations to Alabama once again. We'll go ahead and talk about 2021 here in just a little bit. And also, guys, I predicted Alabama to win the national championship. So now on my show, I'm 1 for 2 picking national champions. I picked the Dodgers this past year, so I picked the Dodgers. I picked Alabama. I've also picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win the NFL. So far, so good. But we'll also get in the NBA trade today. James Harden, of course, getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets. We'll go over the details of that trade and what it means for the NBA. And then we'll also talk a little bit about the divisional round this week in the NFL. What games to look out for, who's on upset alert, and we'll talk about the spreads and everything else, guys. So, hey, thank y'all for joining me. I'm going to play this music, let a couple people join. Don't forget, guys, you join down below, let me know, and let's go. I know y'all see the hat. Fresh Braves hat. John Parkagria. What the hell you doing, man? What's up, Brody? Said you were going to be on tonight. You watching, you ain't on it, though. What's up with that, man? Let's go. All right, guys. All right. All right, guys. So, hey, Kicking It with Crowder begins in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What's up, everyone, and welcome to Kicking It with Crowder, episode 18 this season. We've almost had 70 episodes so far, guys, so thank you, guys, for anyone who's tuned in, downloaded, anything like that. Congratulations, again, to the Alabama Crimson Tide, Nick Saban, who destroyed the Ohio State 52-24 to go 13-0 and win Nick Saban's 6th title, I think, in 14 years at Alabama. I mean, unprecedented. Every recruiting class he's brought in to Alabama, they've all walked away. Each player has walked away with a national title. Unprecedented. He now passes Paul Bear Bryant for most titles as a college football coach. I mean, this is some John Wooden type shit we're talking about right here. I mean, this is unreal what Nick Saban's been able to do. Nick Saban seems happier to me. He seems happier than he was, back in 2012 when, they won the title and he said, oh, we'll enjoy it for 24 hours. Couldn't really crack a smile. I mean, the guy's happy. He's happy with what his group did. And, shout out to Alabama. They were the best team in college football, from point A to point B. They may have not been ranked first, but in my mind, they were the best team all season. Like I said, winning his 6th title at Alabama, so congrats to those guys, Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris. Shout out to all those players who most likely all 3 of them will be moving on to the NFL, but it's okay. Alabama doesn't they don't regroup, they reload. So they're reloaded. They'll be fine next year. I thoroughly believe that. So, incredible season for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Unbelievable what they were able to do this year. We'll also look at my way too early top 10 for next season. And until someone knocks down Alabama, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you a preview. Alabama, I'm going to have them at number 1. I don't care who they lose. Someone's going to have to show me something for me to take Alabama off the top notch right now. So also, guys, NFL had a great Super Wild Card weekend. We'll discuss the division games. I was 4-2 on my straight up picks. So 4-2 on the teams that advanced. I had the Steelers wrong and the Seahawks wrong. So those are my those were 2 games I had wrong. Also had Alabama winning the title. Against the spread, that's something else to discuss about. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But straight up picks, I did pretty good, 5-2 last week on the 7 games I picked. So we'll discuss all that later in the show. Divisional round. So we'll talk about the matchups. We'll talk about what needs to happen for these teams to not only be successful this weekend, but to move on to the NFC and AFC championship game. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. We got 5 people on the live. Let me know down below who's watching. It's not really showing me, only seeing Parker right now. So if you're watching, guys, give me a shout out. Also, let me know what you want to talk about tonight. James Harden trade, Alabama, divisional round, NBA bets. I got a nice bet going on with Texas over Texas Tech here, -1.5. They just started at 9 o'clock. So let me know what you guys want to talk about down below. And it's going to be a great episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. So the big news today out of the NBA, James Harden, he basically comes out last night and says, look, this team can't be fixed. We're not very good. Teammates are trash. He's kind of out of shape right now, maybe a little bit overweight for basketball standards, but hasn't been playing very well, only averaging like 17 a game last 5-6 games. This guy who scored 37 points a game last year. So obviously, I don't think he's really trying, or, he's really trying to get traded. What's up, Wes? Thanks for watching, brother. I really think James Harden was trying to get traded. I think he, the Rockets said they'll be uncomfortable. They'll let him be uncomfortable. Well, they let it get uncomfortable. Things unraveled last night. James Harden calls out his teammates, calls out the organization, and the Rockets basically said, look, stay home today. Don't come to practice until we work out a trade. They got a trade done with the Brooklyn Nets. Also, the Pacers and Cavs get involved. So we'll talk about all the players going where, who benefits the most from this. And if the Nets can play any defense, man, watch out. This team's going to be sick. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Only problem is there's only one basketball to go around. So we'll discuss all that went down, trades. So, guys, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like down below, share, get this thing out there. More people involved, more people interacting with it. And you can also find me, guys, of course, on the Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, Twitter, any of that, guys. Give me a follow if you're on any of those platforms. I think we almost have 2,000 downloads on the podcast, so appreciate it to everyone. Boycott the NBA. What's up, Dad? So, why is that? Why do you want to boycott the NBA? You don't like what's going on with James Harden? You don't like the COVID stuff going on? What's up, Dad? Let me know. So, hey, guys, like I said, you can find me on all those platforms. Give me a follow, give me a like, give me a tweet, anything like that. Give me a download. Share this with your homies, and let's get this out there, okay? So far, so good. I want to talk a little bit more about Alabama the other night and just how good they were this season. I mean, they were unstoppable. This is one of the years I've actually rooted for Alabama in the national championship. Most of the time I root against them, but this year I just really liked what they were able to do on the offensive side of the football. Steve Sarkisian called a hell of a game plan this entire season. Mac Jones, what he does, putting in work, that's what's I don't think Mac Jones gets enough credit for, honestly. Mac Jones prepares. I mean, he kept every single playbook from every single game. He has them all in a little folder at his house. The guy prepares. The guy watches tape. He studies. He knows what's going on. He can probably tell every player on the field what to do in every situation. So he's basically like another coach out there on the field. So I really like Mac Jones. He did a lot of things that most people would not. He went to Alabama after Jalen Hurts won a national championship his freshman year. He got Alabama to the national championship. Okay, Clemson won it, but he got them to the national championship. Tua, 5-star number one quarterback in his class, in Mac Jones' same class, committed to Alabama. Mac Jones could have easily went to Florida State or Florida or one of these other schools, but he didn't. He went to Alabama and went with Nick Saban, and he sat and he learned and he got better each year. And now he's a national champion, probably going to be a top 20 to 25 pick, most likely. Should go to a pretty good team there later in the first round. Devontae Smith, another guy who could have went early last year to the draft, similar to what Jerry Jeudy did. What's up, Root? Thanks for watching, bro. He could have went pro, Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith made a hell of a decision to come back, not only for money purposes. He's going to get paid a lot more this year than if he would have went last year, but, just the season he was able to put together. Biletnikoff winner, Heisman Trophy winner, Walter Camp winner, first-team All-American, most yards in the national championship game. I think he scored 4 touchdowns in the playoffs, almost, 400 yards receiving in those 2 games. I mean, the guy just put up numbers. He's 165 pounds and 6 foot tall. I mean, this guy is not, he's not a Calvin Johnson. He's not a Julio. He's not going to kill you with his, his elite attributes. But what he can do is get open. And when he's open, Mac Jones can find him, put it on the money. So shout out to Devontae Smith. Shout out to Najee Harris, another guy I like a lot heading into the draft. I got Devontae Smith as my number 1 wide receiver. Got Najee Harris as my number 1 running back. Got Mac Jones as my top 4. He's my number 4 quarterback. So all these guys I think are going to translate to the next level. We'll see what happens. Mac Jones, guys, 36 of 45 for 465 yards in the national championship game and couldn't even win player of the game. I mean, that's insane. Smith, of course, won it with basically that amazing first half, but Mac Jones, he just doesn't get enough credit. Everyone says, oh, it's what's around him. Oh, Mac Jones has all this talent around him. He's not dealing with any pressure. Got a good offensive line. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks who have talent around them, and they get the credit. Joe Burrow last year. I know Joe Burrow is probably a better prospect than Mac Jones, but last year when he had all this talent on offense, it wasn't, it's all these other guys. It was, oh man, Joe Burrow is amazing. And it just doesn't, Mac Jones just doesn't get the same respect in my eye. But he's going to go down as, one of the top quarterbacks at Alabama, at least for one season. I mean, unbelievable season he had this year. Him and Sarkisian work good. Sarkisian, of course, guys, is off to Texas. Big shout out, Root, to the offensive line. Best offensive line in the nation. They had Landon Dickerson, the Remington Award winner. Alex Leatherwood, the Outland Trophy winner. So, yeah, shout out to the offensive line. They'll regroup. They'll reload. They'll have other, 6'5", 6'6" guys, 350 pounds coming out next year to block for Bryce Young. So, here's my discussion and here's my question. Root, you watch a lot more Alabama games than I have, and this is a question I brought up a few weeks ago, and people called me crazy. Is this the best Alabama team that Nick Saban has had at Alabama? A lot of people, will say offensively yes, but defensively not. Honestly, they got better defensively throughout the season. What's up, Glenn? They really did get better throughout the season. Alabama, their defense did struggle earlier in the season, especially that Ole Miss game. They struggled a little bit in the SEC championship with Florida, but when it mattered most, and against Notre Dame against Ohio State, they only gave up 24 points to Ohio State. They give up 14 to Notre Dame, so giving up 17 points per game in the college football playoff, especially with that explosive offense, that's going to be enough every single time. So is this the greatest Alabama team that he has had? Not player-wise, just as a team, as a whole. What were they able to accomplish? 11-0 in the SEC. Beat Notre Dame pretty bad. Killed Ohio State on Monday night when a lot of people were picking Ohio State. A lot of people, Lee Corso picked them. A lot of analysts picked them. A lot of people on this show picked Ohio State. And I had Alabama winning. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. Did not think it was going to be a 52-24 blowout. But shout out to Alabama. They really, really did good. Fields struggled. Fields did not look himself. You could tell he was hobbling a little bit with that rib and hip injury. So shout out to him for going out there and playing ball, giving it his all in a big spot. But hey, Glenn, it's all right, man. Look, I made a bunch of wrong picks this year, but hey, man, it's okay. Like you go out there, you go out on a limb trying to make a pick, and you get some right, you get some wrong. So hey, as long as you stand behind that pick, which Glenn's doing, Glenn's saying, hey man, he ate the crow. He took Ohio State. But at the end of the day, I think Alabama was just too powerful this season. They just were too much of a juggernaut. These guys had to get this done this year. Nick Saban, I picked him at the beginning of the season in August. Picked them the other night to win it, and they got it done. I think this is more about Alabama than it was Ohio State struggling. I just think that Alabama is just too good of a team, and they'll be good next year. Bryce Young, Michie will come back. They'll probably lose Waddle, Smith, Mac Jones, and Harris, but they'll just reload. They'll just replace them, and there'll be other guys stepping in. You'll see true freshmen next year making plays for this team. Defensively, they'll probably lose Surtain, maybe Baremore, and Moses, but besides that, most of those other guys will come back. Whole defense is from South Florida. I mean, unbelievable. They got like 3 guys from Fort Lauderdale, another from Miami. This team just gets it done. Nick Saban's the best on the recruiting trail. He's the best with the X's and O's. He's best with the in-game adjustments. I mean, yeah, hey, the over, that was the bet. That was the bet that I should have just made that bet because I definitely took Ohio State with the points and lost that one. But, man, I hit the over. The over was pretty much going to hit. It probably could have went even higher, but I think it ended at 82. So, yeah, I mean, they beat UGA, LSU, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, and the SEC. 5 teams in the top 25. They also beat a good A&M team as well, then Notre Dame and Ohio State. So, yeah, the question root has to be asked, is this the greatest Alabama team? And then some Alabama players came out and said, is this the greatest team of all time? Since the BCS era, 98, is this the best team? This is probably a top 5 team in that. I can think of Texas in 05. I think of Florida State in 13. LSU in 19. I mean, there's some Miami in 02. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. What's up, Bradley? Thanks for watching, brother. So this Alabama team was just they're unheard of, and the SEC just continues to reign. I think they've won like 4 out of the last 7 or something like that. I mean, they're just a great conference who gets it done every single year, and shout out to them. So here's my top 10 for next year, guys. So it's never too early to get going for next year. And I'm going to start at the top with my number 1 team. I'm going to stay with Alabama Crimson Tide at number 1. Until someone takes them out, I'm going to have Alabama at number 1. They'll lose a lot of guys that I said, but like I said, Alabama does not they don't regroup, they reload. They have guys all over the field who are 4 or 5 stars, who are the best player in their state, who come over. And Alabama, that's another thing. Alabama used to, recruit Alabama, Georgia, Florida, get all these guys. Now they're going everywhere. They're going to Texas. They're going to Las Vegas. They're going to California. They're going to Washington. They're going all over the place. And that's my thing. I know, Glenn, they're losing a lot of players, but until someone shows me that they can knock out Nick Saban, and look, I'm telling you, this Bryce Young guy, this is a guy I've been very, very high on. I thought he may take Mac Jones' spot last year. Bryce Young, after a year of learning in that system, they're gonna have a very, very good team next year. I'm rooting for Alabama right now to start the season 1. Wouldn't be surprised if Clemson was at number 1, but right now I'm going Alabama at 1, and then I'm going Clemson at 2. So Clemson is my number 2 team. Of course, they'll be led by DJ at quarterback. Going to have to replace Etienne at running back. They got hella wide receivers out there. Maybe Justin Ross is able to come back with his high school teammate EJ Williams, number 6. Or number 5, I can't remember what number he is. The defense, Breesy got some good time this year. Also, they have a lot of their secondary coming back. I mean, this team, yeah, you're right. I'm just going off of what I saw this year, and I know that they're gonna have a lot of players coming back. So a lot of people are putting Clemson at 1. I'm just gonna put Alabama at 1 until someone proves otherwise. I got Clemson at 2. Coming in at number 3, I got UGA. UGA team who, they got Jordan Davis back. Of course, LeCount goes pro, but they'll have JT Daniels back. They'll have Pickens back. They'll have number 7, the guy from California, back at wide receiver. Of course, they'll also have Kenny McIntosh back. They'll have the other kid from California at running back coming back. They'll of course have Zeus back. A couple offensive linemen will come back. So, this team is going to be very, very good. And you're right. DJ is going to be a heck of a quarterback for Clemson. But I think this UGA team has a chance. I'm not saying to win a national championship. But man, if this was ever the year to get to the playoff with what they have going back, if not next year, then when for UGA? So got UGA at number 3, got Oklahoma and Spencer Rattler at number 4. Spencer Rattler, of course, once he got going, this team won 10 or 11 straight games after losing the first 2. So I think Spencer Rattler, he should be maybe the Heisman Trophy front runner coming in next year, of course, with Lincoln Riley leading the way. Oklahoma's defense was better this year, so I got Oklahoma at 4. Even though A&M loses a couple linemen up front and Kellen Mond, I really believe in Jimbo Fisher, what he's been able to do. Of course, I was a big fan of him at Florida State, not so much at A&M, but I just think with what he's able to do recruiting-wise, he'll have 2 good running backs, a couple good receivers, defense will be good. I got A&M at number 5. Coming in at number 6, UNC, I got Sam Howell. Yeah, he should, Glenn. He's got a good chance. I can't believe Trevor never won one, but DJ could definitely win one with how athletic he is. He's like a Cam Newton Stafford mix. I mean, that guy's got a rocket on his arm, and he's fast as hell, and he seems to know the offense pretty good. He's a good guy in the locker room to have, so Clemson should be really good next year. Got a UNC at 6 with Sam Howell. Mac Brown, I think they learned a lot this year. They're going to have to replace those 2 big running backs they got. But I think Sam Howell's already thrown for like 80 touchdowns in 2 years, so look out for him to rewrite the ACC record books next year. Coming at number 7, I got Ohio State. They're, of course, going to have to replace Sermon at running back, Fields. They're going to have to replace Fields at quarterback, Olave at wide receiver. Going to lose some guys defensively as well, probably Sean Wade. So Ohio State recruits well. They're like Alabama. They'll reload, but I don't know who their quarterback is right now. And then just a beatdown I saw the other night, I dropped them down a few spots to number 7. Iowa State, Matt Campbell. Brock Purdy should come back for the Cyclones program. They had a hell of a season this year. Matt Campbell is another name to watch out for on the coaching trail, maybe possibly NFL in the future. He's at number 8, Iowa State. At number 9, I got Cincinnati. When Ritter decided to come back, the Cincinnati team is going to be very good next year, led by Luke Fickell. They lose their defensive coordinator to Notre Dame, but I think Ritter is going to jump up draft boards coming up next year. Could be maybe a day 2 pick, round 2, round 3 pick next year. Possibly if he goes off next year, could vault in the first round. And then coming in at number 10, this is going to be a team who, I could have put a bunch of other teams here, but this is a team who you've got to watch out for next year. The Ole Miss Rebels. Lane Kiffin, what he was able to do, go 5-5 this year. Beat Indiana in a bowl game, a good Indiana team who was out there trying to win the ball game. Ole Miss, I know they're going to lose Elijah Moore, but they got their quarterback Correll coming back. Another year in that Lane Kiffin offense. I really feel like Ole Miss is going to make that jump next year. So look out for Ole Miss. They'll probably start the season a little bit outside the top 10, maybe 15, 16, 17. But by the end of the year, I expect Ole Miss to be up there near the top 10. Lane Kiffin, he's a great recruiter. The players like playing for him. The coaches like coaching with him. I really feel like he's going to do a hell of a job with this Ole Miss team. So 5-5 this year. They can go 8-2 next year, maybe vault up to that top 10, and you have another team to compete with Alabama in the West. Some other teams to look out for. LSU. Hey man, I'm just saying that's my surprise team at 10, Glenn. My surprise team at 10. No one expected Ole Miss to go out there and beat Indiana this in the bowl game. They had Elijah Moore. They had some guys sitting out. I really feel like Ole Miss could be a team that could teeter around the top 10 next year at some point. So I'm putting them in at number 10. I'm sticking with it, Glenn. That's where I'm going with that one. Yes, they're kind of my sleeper team at 10. I didn't want to put a team that, is just always perennial in the top 10. I could have put LSU there. I could have put, Auburn there. I could have put another team. I'm putting Ole Miss there just based off what I saw this season and the improvement I saw. And we'll see what happens. And yeah, he is Plumlee's a good quarterback. I think he may move possibly to wide receiver. And then they have Correll at quarterback. And, they're going to have a good scheme. They're going to get better playmakers. They got a good running back who was picked in the first round. We'll see. But Ole Miss, Glenn, that's just a team to watch out for near the top 10 next year. Not saying they're going to win it all or nothing, but just a team to watch out for the top 10. Okay, guys? Hey, guys. So, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like down below, guys. And we're having a pretty good show so far. So we're going to go over the divisional round. We'll also go over the NBA trade. I'll give you my picks for this weekend, guys. We'll get on up out of here, all right? So let me find this real quick. Let me find my NFL bracket. All right, so. All right, guys. So wild card weekend last year, super wild card weekend. I mean, it was a hell of a weekend with the. Yeah, you're right, Glenn. They good, but hey, that's my sleeper pick, so we'll see what happens. All right, so super wild card weekend results last week. We had the Buffalo Bills defeating the Indianapolis Colts in a game that Indianapolis easily could have won that game, but Buffalo Bills do defeat the Colts 27-24. The Los Angeles Rams go in and beat Seattle in Seattle 30-20 last week in a shocking game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31, Washington Football Team 23. Taylor Heinicke played a hell of a game. Tried to get the Washington Football Team over the Tampa Bay Bucs, just couldn't get it done at the end. Then on Sunday, you had one of the marquee games of the weekend. Really didn't turn in to be as good of a game as I thought. The Ravens versus the Titans, 20-13. Baltimore. Lamar Jackson has a huge 48-yard run to seal it for the Baltimore Ravens. Then the New Orleans Saints beat the Bears 21-9. And then the upset of the week. What's up, Charlie? Thanks for watching, brother. And then the upset of the week. And I'm going to put this loss on Juju Smith-Schuster, running his mouth, doing all the TikToks on the field. He said the Browns is the same old Browns. Well, the Browns came up there and beat the shit out of the Steelers last week, guys. 48-37. Juju Smith-Schuster played good, but at the end of the day, you can't give a team like that bulletin board material going into the game. They're not the same old Browns team, and the Steelers found out. And for Big Ben and the Steelers guys, it may be time to be looking at a quarterback. If they are able to get one of these top quarterbacks in the draft next year, a Trey Lance or a Zach Wilson or a Mac Jones, one of these guys, if they're able to get him later on in the first round, they could kind of they could be a team to watch out for next year. But so that's what happened last week in the wild card division rounds. We'll go ahead and talk about the division rounds this week on Saturday. The Ravens at the Bills. So this is a very intriguing game to me. The Ravens at the Bills. Bills playing some really good football. Josh Allen. This Ravens team has won like 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7 or something like that. So this Ravens defense has been playing good. The matchup will be for me Lamar Jackson versus Buffalo Bills defense. The spread sits at 2.5 right now. Like I said, we'll pick the games later on. If I just had to pick the game straight up right now at this point, I'm probably going to take the Buffalo Bills just because I really want to see that Kansas City Buffalo Bills matchup in the AFC Championship. Feel like that'll be a really, really good game. So I'm going Bills really close in this one. 31-28, somewhere like 31-27, somewhere around there, but I'll make my pick against the spread a little bit later on. On Sunday out of the AFC, the Browns at the Chiefs. Chiefs sitting at a 10-point favorite right now, and the Chiefs have been in a lot of close ball games. Of course, Week 16, they went and played with the Falcons. The Falcons covered that spread. Then the next week, they lose to the Chargers. We'll see what happens in this game, but I kind of like the points in this one with the Browns, but we'll talk about that. I like the Chiefs overall in the game. So in the AFC, guys, I'm going Bills over the Ravens and Chiefs over the Browns straight up. And then in the NFC, guys, the Rams at the Packers, number 1 defense this year in the league versus the number 1 offense, or, one of the top offenses in the league, probably the MVP winner in Aaron Rodgers. Also, Aaron Rodgers is hosting Jeopardy as a guest host. So I really like that. That's a cool little gig. Maybe can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers becomes the next Jeopardy host after having such a good career, and then he goes on a Jeopardy and takes Alex Trebek's job? That'll be something to watch out for. So the Rams, will Goff play? Will Wofford play at quarterback? We'll see. This Packers defense has been pretty good this year, but we'll see what Jalen Ramsey's able to do against Devontae Adams. Boy, get your popcorn ready. I'm telling you, that's going to be a matchup. I would like to see Jalen Ramsey on Devontae Adams just all day. That would be awesome. But I'll take Packers over the Rams in that game. And then Bucks at Saints, guys. This is a game where, the Bucks have already gotten beat pretty bad twice against the Saints. They're going to know each other. They're going to know what's been going on. This Saints team, they played pretty good last week, but honestly, if the Bears could have played a little bit better, they could have stole that game from the Saints. Tom Brady, this Buccaneers team, they've been playing better the last 6 weeks or so. I like Tom Brady over Drew Brees and the Saints in this game. I just do. So I'm going Bucks over the Saints just basically because I will never pick the Saints. I can't stand the Saints. Who dat? We'll see who that is this weekend, but I'm going Bucks over the Saints in a what should be a pretty good matchup. I think it's going to be a lot lower scoring than people think. Saints pretty much whooped up on the Bucks both times they played this year. So we'll see. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't know if he's going to be playing or not. He's been questionable, had a knee injury late in the season. So I'm not sure. I can't answer that question, Glenn. I'm not sure if he'll be playing. I'm sure he'll be on the sideline dressed out and everything, just not sure how many snaps and stuff he'll be getting. So in the division rounds, guys, my straight up picks, I like the Buffalo Bills over the Ravens. I like the Kansas City Chiefs over the Browns on Sunday. Then I like the Packers over the Rams and the Bucks at the Saints. So we'll have the Packers-Bucks matchup in the NFC, and then we'll have Chiefs-Bills matchup in the AFC Championship. That's my picks right now, so we'll see what happens straight up. Okay, guys? All right. NBA trade, guys. So we'll move on to the NBA. I know a lot of people don't like to talk football. We'll talk a little bit about the NBA real quick. So James Harden kind of forces his way out of Houston, kind of just calls out his coaches, calls out his players, calls out the organization, says he's done everything he can for the city, but, it's time to move on. So what do? They go ahead and put him on the they start listening to trade offers, tell him not to come to practice till he's traded. And today, yeah, I know. I just got to talk a little bit about it, Glenn, a little bit about the NBA. So we got James Harden, guys, going from the Houston Rockets to the Brooklyn Nets in return. So the Rockets will get Victor Oladipo from the Pacers. They ended up getting the Pacers. The Rockets got Karis LeVert from the Nets, but then used Karis LeVert to get Victor Oladipo. They also get 4 first-round future picks, also 4 pick swaps with the Houston Rockets as well. So if the Rockets have a better pick than them, if the Nets have a better pick than them in the draft, they can go ahead and swap that pick out. They also get Dante Exum and then Kirkos, another player, who to add to that Rockets bench. The Pacers guys basically trade Victor Oladipo for Karis LeVert. So Karis LeVert's got a nice contract. He's healthy. Should help out the Indiana Pacers, who are without T.J. Warren right now. And then the Cavs guys get a Jarrett Allen expiring contract and a Taurean Prince expiring contract to go along with Andre Drummond's expiring contract. So Cavs are more in like a free up some cap space move for them. But Jarrett Allen's a good player, maybe a shot blocker. Maybe they try to move him at the trade deadline. So what this trade means for the NBA, with Kyrie Irving, you don't know what you're getting right now with Kyrie Irving with Brooklyn Nets. It's just hard right now for me to see this all working out with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. I mean, that's a lot of guys who want the ball, a lot of prolific scorers, guys who have averaged, almost 30, Kevin Durant and James Harden average almost 30 points a game. Kyrie probably sitting close to around 25 points a game. I mean, that's like 75 points a game from the 3 best players. But can the Brooklyn Nets gel together? Can they play defense together? That's something I really want to watch out for. So we'll see what happens in the future. James Harden, I think you'll see him start to get back in basketball shape, maybe lose a little bit of weight. And I think he's going to get right back to his form, 30 or so points a game. He's only been averaging 17 points a game with the Rockets. I just don't think he's been giving it his all. I think he kind of threw his teammates under the bus. And it's not a good look, honestly, for James Harden. But he's a grown man. He can do what he wants, I guess. And we'll see what happens. We'll see with the move. I don't think this puts Brooklyn as the favorite right now in the East. I mean, you got teams like the Miami Heat, the Brooklyn Nets, the Celtics, and the Milwaukee Bucks. So those 4 teams are going to be fighting it out all season long. We'll see what the Nets do, adding Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving, I think, he's talking about social justice reform and all this. And if he wants to do that, do that. If you don't want to play ball every day, you don't want to go get paid $30 million a year, you want to give up all these game checks, then just step away from the game right now until you're ready to go. But, man, if you're ready to play ball, go play ball. This man is one of the most talented basketball players in the National Basketball Association. But just seems to always leave you scratching your head. So we'll see what Kyrie Irving and these guys are able to do. But man, what a trade today that shook up the NBA. So we'll see what happens on that front. But I like the trade. Kevin Durant, and James Harden now getting responded. What do they do with Kyrie? Do they maybe try to move on from Kyrie? Does he sit out the rest of the year? Does he come back? We'll see what happens, guys. But those are my picks for the season, guys. So I'm going to give you my locks for this weekend. So I'm going to give you 4 NFL locks. And when I say locks, I say that lightly. After last week going 2-5 in my 7 picks, put me at 500 for the season, guys. So right now, I am sitting at 47 and 1. So I'm 47 and 1 on my picks this year. I need a 3-1, 4-1, 4-0 type week this week, guys. So we'll see what happens. So I've already gave you my straight up picks, but I'm going to give you my against the spread picks right now. So I'm going the Buffalo Bills at the Ravens. Ravens at the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills 2.5. I just think Josh Allen and this passing defense is really good. Wouldn't shock me, I guess, if the Ravens defeated the Bills, but I like the Bills. Just basically, I want to see this matchup with Pat Mahomes and the Buffalo Bills. So I'll take Buffalo Bills minus 2.5 points. I'll lay the 2 with the Buffalo Bills. If I end up changing my picks before the games on Saturday, guys, I'll let you know on my Twitter. On Sunday, Browns at Chiefs plus 10. I really like the Browns plus 10 in this one. I think they keep it within 7 to 8 points. If Cleveland's able to run the ball, they get Stefanski back, they get some of these players back, man, maybe they could shock the Chiefs. But I like the Chiefs between 4 and 7 points in this one. So I'll take the Browns on the plus 10. So I'll take Browns plus 10 on that one. Bills minus 2.5. On Saturday, guys, Rams at Packers. This is a game where I could see the Rams covering and could also see the Packers winning by a touchdown or so. Just based off Aaron Rodgers and what he's been able to do versus basically any defense this year. I'll go the Packers. I'll go Packers by about 10 over the Rams, 30-20, somewhere right around that range. And then, like I said, I like the Bucks to upset the Saints next week, so I'll take the Bucks plus 3 in what should be, a very, very close game. So my divisional round picks against the spread, guys, I'll go Bills minus 2.5, Bills plus 10, Packers minus 6.5, and the Tampa Bay Bucks plus 3. So those are my picks, guys, for the divisional round this weekend, guys. We'll see how it goes. I'm 47 and 1. So I really need a 3-1 or a 4-0 type week to get back to over 500. Still on my Twitter picks since August 1st, I'm like 117.95 and 1. So still doing good there, but had a rough 2 out of 3 weeks picking games for the show, guys. So, hey, guys, I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. We were straight to the point tonight with Alabama, my way, the national championship and talking about that game. Then I gave you my way too early top 10. If you missed it, guys, I'll go over that with you real quick. Had Alabama at number 1, Clemson at 2, UGA 3, Oklahoma 4, A&M 5, UNC 6, Ohio State 7, Iowa State 8, Cincinnati at 9, and Ole Miss is my sleeper team. Got them at number 10 next year. Watch out for Lane Kiffin and them boys. Then straight up, guys, I like the Bills. I like the Chiefs. I like the Packers. I like the Bucks. Against the spread, I like the Bills minus 2.5, Browns plus 10, Packers minus 6.5, Bucks plus 3. So, guys, those are pretty much my picks. Of course, the big news with the NBA, James Harden going to the Brooklyn Nets. I think that Houston got a pretty good deal back for him, so you had to move on from him at this point, guys. So, hey, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like down below. Let's get this thing out there. Of course, I'll be editing this out and putting it out on my Apple, my Spotify. You can download also on Podbean as well. And then, guys, I'll be putting this out on YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. And my last announcement, guys, I'm going to be bringing on Wes Medeiros to the Kicking It with Crowder podcast. Wes is going to be doing Wes is going to be basically like a graphic editor, like our designer. He's going to be a graphic designer making some videos for me, making some posts for me each week. So Wes is really happy to be coming onto the podcast. So he's going to be doing more of behind the scenes type stuff with editing and picks and things like that. So I'd like to just bring big shout out to Wes Medeiros, who's going to be bringing a lot to the show. So I really appreciate you, Wes, stepping up and now you're part of the Kicking It with Crowder podcast. So shout out to Wes, guys. So, hey, guys, until next Wednesday. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing my show up until the Super Bowl week. I'll make my Super Bowl week pick. We'll probably talk about the Super Bowl, and then I'll have like a 2-week break. Also, we'll be scouting. I got 8 players right now I'm supposed to be scouting. I got all written up on. I just have to put the videos together right now. So be looking out for that. I'll be putting that on my Kicking It with Crowder page, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff, guys. So, hey, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Till next week, guys, I'm out. Let's go.